The hosts and guests on Everything's Messy podcast are not licensed healthcare professionals. The discussions in our episodes are not personalized medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider for medical guidance. Never delay seeking professional medical advice or emergency assistance because of our podcast. We encourage consulting with a healthcare professional before making any significant health changes. By listening to our podcast, you agree to the disclaimer. Thank you for listening to Everything's Messy podcast. Hey, welcome to Everything's Messy podcast, where we celebrate the beautiful but messy life experiences that most, if not all, people go through. Get ready to embark on an exciting journey through the raw and unfiltered stories of everyday people. Here, we dive into messy realities of life, from making messy mistakes to triumphs and everything in between. Are you sensing a theme? That's right, it's messy. But this just isn't about the mess. It's about finding strength and resilience in the midst of it all. We'll explore how health, fitness, and wellness play a crucial role in navigating life's twists and very messy turns. And we'll challenge conventional systems, because sometimes the most unconventional paths lead to the greatest discoveries. Join us as we embrace the messy, beautiful, and endlessly fascinating stories. Each episode is a testament to the power of our messy journeys and the beauty that emerges from the mess. So grab your favorite beverage, coffee, sparkling water, whatever it may be, and prepare to be inspired. Are you ready? Let's get messy. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Everything's Messy podcast. I am your messy host, Sarah. Joining me today, I have Holly McDonald, a realtor right here in SoCal. I love it. TV and podcast host, which I had the honor and the privilege of being on your podcast. Welcome, Holly.
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. Just break us down. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So like you said, I am in real estate. I am an East Coast transplant. I grew up in New Jersey. I went to college in Boston and never thought I would live in California. It always just seemed like such a cool, fun place. But I thought I would just stay close to family. And I thought, I love New York. Like there's so much that I had on the East Coast that would have kept me there. But my last semester of college, Boston University had just started an internship program for people that were in the School of Communications. I had my emphasis was on TV production. So I thought, well, this is a golden opportunity. I should definitely go to California, do an internship, get some great life experience, bring it back, then everybody's going to want to hire me in New York. Like that was what I thought the plan was going to be. So I figured it was kind of like a low risk to go to LA on like my college tuition. So sort of, and not have to make the trek, find the place, everything was set up very nicely. And one semester, I didn't have it out of my system. I thought California is so great. I literally moved here the first week of January, left the freezing cold, the snow, landed in California with 2 suitcases and it was 75 degrees. And I was pretty nice. So long story short, did the internship, stayed. Some of my friends decided to stay after graduation, decided I could do this a little bit longer. And then I just kind of fell in love with the lifestyle, fell in love with the work opportunities, and never left. And then I fell in love and ended up staying. So lots of things led to me ending up staying here. But I was ultimately in LA for a while, and I worked in TV production. I worked with House Hunters and other shows on Home and Garden TV. And then House Hunters, ironically, I have always loved real estate. Didn't think that it would be like my major focus of a career, but working on that show and being surrounded by real estate and realtors and seeing how they ran their business, it rubbed off on me. And I decided to trade it all in. And now it's really great because it's kind of full circle. I'm doing real estate, but I've intermingled a lot of media aspects to my business.
You've married the two very successfully.
And I'm like, this is the perfect marriage. I love it.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so falling in love with the lifestyle in California, and then, like you said, falling in love. So you put down roots and you decided to stay. Is there anything that you miss from back east?
Bagels. No, that sounds really bad. I have a lot of family back east still. And so it's always really nice. We go back pretty much every summer to go visit. I don't like to go in winter. Um, so I miss that. There's a certain familiarity, just the way people are. It's very different culturally. I think there's a lot more Italians. It's just like this different type of energy. The West Coast is a lot more. I don't know. Just people are. They seem a little bit more polite to me over here, but more open, I
Not
should
something
say.
I've heard California described as, but I will take it.
um, I don't know. I mean, these are all stereotypes, but I think that there is more of a reservedness on the East Coast. There's a lot of like old world style, like this is just how we do it. I guess you can find that anywhere, but that's that seems to be the biggest difference to me.
Yeah.
Um,
So more
yeah,
traditional versus less traditional.
California is definitely. I'm definitely. My parents would say that I have moved to the hippy dippy side, coming to California, but I just think
I
it's
love
wonderful.
it. Yeah, no, I think that's great. So through all of this, life planning and where you thought your life was going to go, where can you jump off and give us a little bit of the messy?
Well, I think some of it has to do with, so I mentioned that like I fell in love here. I got married, I planted roots. And having, for anybody that has family like far away on opposite sides of the country, on different sides of the world, um, it's a bit of an adjustment, especially if you grew up close to all of your relatives
Yeah.
and everybody was like very involved in each other's lives. So I was married. That didn't work out. It was, I call it like that whole 7-year itch thing. Like we were
Mm,
married 7 years, that ended. And at the time, I didn't really know. I knew I was cemented here, but I was slightly less cemented at that moment because I'm like, well, I don't have this person, but I had already built like a career and friendships and really loved it here and didn't want to give that up. And fortunately, I met someone else and it all worked out and we've got kids now and everything. But all of that to say that some of that first marriage definitely slowed down what I wanted in life. I have kids. I'm so grateful for them. I wanted them earlier. That everything works out for a reason. But
sure.
and I probably wasn't equipped to handle it younger, to be honest. But I thought I was, because you always think
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So being where I'm at now, I'm I'm an older mom, I'm geriatric, all of those things that
Me
they
too.
put on
Me
us,
too.
right? Yeah. Um, Coming from a background where my mom was the youngest mom. So
Mm,
growing up, I always thought, of course, I'm going to be a young mom. Like my mom had me 19, right? So not that I thought I'd have kids at 19, but I just thought about things differently.
sure. Sure.
And then having not a lot of family support where I'm at now, I grew up in an area.
That's so hard. Just having that quick phone call, not even if somebody can come over and help, but just having that quick phone call of, I need to just get it off my chest and maybe come over for a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Like that's really, I'm in that same situation and that is hard. That is super hard.
Yeah, it's so there's no perfect. It's all
No,
messy.
of course not.
But yeah, I grew up where my grandparents were, 15 minutes away and my parents could always call upon them. And I didn't realize how fortunate we were, to have that.
Yeah,
And then, you couple that with, you know, demands of work life, demands
sure.
of just even connecting with your own partner. It's messy, like it's not, as my dad would say, like it's fine. It's like it's not ideal.
Sure.
And that's not to put anybody down in any way, but
No,
you have many people have expectations of what they think their life will end up being.
of
And like
course.
you think, okay, like maybe you think I'll get married and then life will be great, or I'll have kids and then life will be perfect, or and then they'll go off to college and then you just have all of these things, but then you're in it and you're like, okay, I'm married, but now what? And I have kids, but now like how do we figure out all of these things to make our life function, their life function?
So
So we're
many
in
moving parts. So
yeah,
many
we're in
moving
the moving
parts.
part stage. My kids are almost 7 and almost 5. So we definitely have gotten out of the first messy phase, which was really hard. I think the messiest part, you go from being independent, doing everything kind of for yourself, like you don't have to worry about hauling around diaper bags or even like if you go home at night, like you could do whatever you want. And
Sure.
now, obviously there's a lot more priorities
Right.
and you got to deal with all of that. So also, like career wise, again, being an older mom, had a career first, like have all of those responsibilities kind of already figured out in like the perfect slots of my life. And then realizing that you can't keep adding all of this stuff to your life, stuff
Right.
being kids. Like you can't keep adding and expect everything else to function the way it did before.
Right. Right. It's definitely a transitional phase for sure. And trying to figure it out, it seems to be the hardest. I know for me, um, I actually, and maybe you can too, I actually can appreciate being a little bit older and having my kids because I'm not sure, and I think you mentioned this, I'm not sure that I could have handled it and or done it. Not saying I'm doing all that well now, but I feel like I have a better grasp and a perspective on life and experience and things that I've had versus, and nothing to younger moms, God bless them, they're doing it, but I just feel like it's a different perspective.
I think so too. And I'm sure, like many people, wherever you are at when you do have children, you've experienced your own perspective of
Yes.
life. But
Yes.
I do agree that I probably would have matured faster if I had kids younger. And
Of
that's not to say I
course.
wasn't mature younger, but
Right.
I think that having kids, sometimes I feel immature. Like when my kids are having a breakdown and then like, I'm having a breakdown, I'm like, am I the mom here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. Yesterday even, like, I had a moment with my daughter where, like, I was stressed out about something, I think it was about work, and she just was trying to keep talking at me, and I'm trying to keep my line of focus on something else, and then I get, like, this slice of mom guilt because 'cause I'm like, "I should just pay attention to her, but, like, this one thing over here, I just wanna deal with it. Can
Yes.
please just be
Yes.
quiet?" Like, and they don't get it,
They
you
don't
know?
understand. Yeah. And
Yeah.
those mom guilt demons are real. I talk about that all the time on the podcast. They literally, I had to get such clarity on that and realizing that when I do choose to put myself first, that it's okay. And it's actually has taught my daughters kind of an example of how they should be as well. Like if we give everything of ourselves, there's nothing left to give, right? The cup, you can't pour from an empty cup. But learning that, that's a whole different story.
It is. The mom guilt is really hard, and so, a couple of years ago, I had started this networking group because you know, at the ages my kids were at, it just seemed like you couldn't catch a break. It would be like one was sick, then the other would get sick, and then you think you're in the clear, and then all of a sudden, like, they both get attacked by something else at the same time, and you're just like, "How is this happening?" Um, and I was just like, how can I put myself first ever?"
Right,
Um,
right, and
so I
feel
started
okay
a
about it.
yeah, so I started a group for other moms that were working and, really felt like lack of support, I guess. I mean, my husband's super supportive, but there's there's always gonna be maybe one parent that, like, they glom onto more, and in our household, it's me. So, it
I
doesn't
think that's
matter.
typical, though. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
think
it
that's
doesn't matter
typical.
if daddy says, "Oh, the door is closed, mommy's like, leave her alone." It's a constant banging, crying, whining, throwing themselves on the floor. So it's
Yeah.
like, and you can't really feel good about that. So
Right. What's that meme where the kids literally dad's on the couch and they walk past dad and mom's like the kitchen's on fire or this is and they literally walk past dad on the couch to mom, doesn't matter what she's doing, and ask mom something, not relevant at the time, but they don't even bother to ask dad.
I can't tell you. So I as a real estate professional, I work a lot on weekends. I do love it. I mean, obviously there's times I don't love it because there's stuff I'd like to do with my kids, but the balance is coming. And anyway, when I'm working and I come home and, Brian's been with them for like 4 hours during an open house, he's pretty much ready to to take a break by the time I get home. And I totally understand that. But they'll be fine. Like I'll walk in and they'll be like playing and quiet, like doing their thing. The second I open that door, they are not monsters, but I'm not saying
Something
monsters,
changes.
but
Something changes for
yes,
sure.
and he'll comment on it every time. He's like, "Wow, they were fine for me." Like, I don't know what happened when you walked in the door. I'm like, "Am I bringing the energy or like I don't know what it is."
I think they get more from you. I think nothing against the dads. The dads do their part. They do the best they can, but moms just bring an element that dads can't provide, I think, and the kids know that, and so they want that.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So, been working a lot the last year. Well, between like the networking group and just the core of it was I did want to network, but I also wanted like an element of the support and other helping other moms that I knew were most likely going through the same thing, but like no one now, maybe more people do say it, or if you look for it, you can find it on Instagram or whatnot. But a lot of people are just like, look how perfectly I have my life balanced. I have everything all together. My kids
Lies.
are great. The laundry's done. Our laundry
Lies.
is never done. It's always in a cycle.
I call lies on that. I'm sorry. And I think it's unnatural. I know we throw the term around a lot, but I think it's unnatural to say there is work-life balance because there is at the end of the day you just have to do what is right for you, what that routine looks like. And it may be, and the difference on different days, like it may be 80 being towards work on one day and then it may flip the next day. I think that's where you have to find that ebb and flow where you can, because it's not just a set, this is what we do all the time. I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, the best laid plans are not going to come true.
Yeah, I mean, letting go. So I think the last year I have worked a lot harder on trying to realize that my like inner self, myself, my inner core has to be my strongest cheerleader because my husband is awesome. I'm not trying to bash
A
him.
shout out to the husbands. No,
It's not
absolutely.
even him. I mean, it's not even everybody else. Like, sure, it would be nice to get a thank you or whatever once in a while when you do something, right? But I just have to like go at it and do everything and just know that I'm doing it like, I feel good about it, right? Like
Right.
you said, taking care of yourself is so important, and you just have to be, like, your own biggest cheerleader because people are generally not gonna, like, push you to do something. They're not gonna like, praise you, like, d just let those expectations go, otherwise, you're just gonna be let down, and I think let down is, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit. And why don't you tell everybody what things or routines or outlets have you found when you can take that time for yourself? What are you doing? What does that look like?
I mean, it has changed so much. I honestly think the last year and a half or so has been like a new me in many ways. It's fun. I feel like I'm going back a little bit to maybe who I was, I don't know, like high school in some ways. Like it's a journey, but
Yeah, yeah.
um anyway, so I've been doing a lot like more meditation. I didn't even know I liked it. I love it. I love it so much. I've gone to breath work.
Yes.
Didn't understand the concept, never even heard it. I've gone to like chakra readings. I think I'm like on this journey to know myself more. So then that way, if I know myself more, then I can be more comfortable with myself and then be a good role model, especially for my daughter, my son
Sure.
too. But I know
Sure.
how important it is for women, um, to have good role models and how much even at my daughter's age of 6, there are shows that she comes across where it's I can't even believe it. Like, I'm just like, I cannot believe I mean, now my daughter wants to wear, like, full faces of makeup or crop tops. I'm like, "You're 6." My husband's like,
It's
"What
so
the heck?"
hard. It's so hard. That's so hard. I think just going back really quick to what you were saying though, I think what I'm hearing when I hear you say I'm going back to high school and I'm on this journey and doing different things, I hear you saying I'm taking a little bit more now for myself. I'm comfortable now. The kids are a bit older. They're still, need you as much as they do, but I'm taking a little bit for myself. So when you're doing that, when you're, experiencing your meditation or whatever, are you Are you comfortable and guilt-free doing that, or are you still feeling a little bit of the push me, pull me with the kids?
So the one thing that I guess when we talk about like balance is it is hard to fit it in. I do it. I do it pretty much every day. I have to do it at like the crack of dawn before anybody is up. And I've learned I'm a morning person, but like not like a pre-dawn person. But I am now though, because my kids could, I don't they're still at the ages where getting up early is fun. So that it it is a trade-off. I mean, I'm enjoying it though. I just but making space for that has been really worthwhile. I've also like eliminated TV. I work in TV production and I love media, but like I've just it's like what could I let go of that would give me like fulfillment in other areas?
Sure,
I
sure.
let it go. And like people keep asking, they're like, "Oh, what are you watching? What are you guys watching?" I'm like, "Nothing."
Nothing, yeah.
But I'm reading. I mean, I'm reading more, which is good too. So I mean, yeah, just all of these and I loved reading when I was younger, and I loved journaling, and I've been journaling more, I guess, or, like, voice recording stuff, which is, kinda goes back to podcasting, but
Sure,
it's
sure, yeah, I
it's
mean,
super helpful. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very,
that's why I love podcasting. It's like a verbal journal because I actually don't like the physical act of writing, so this is a lot better for me to get my points across, but I like when you said that, you are still searching for that balance and you make the time by getting up earlier. I think, in all of that mess and, every married couple knows for a very long time the kids come first. What are you and your husband doing to prioritize time for yourselves?
so we are working on that, and I mean, that's definitely part of the messiness, and it's something that probably I don't talk about very much. I'll talk about it here, though. I mean, we are actually in, like, this amazing relationship therapy course at the moment that we started a few months ago. And it's really good because we used to, pre kids, obviously, like more so when we were dating and getting to know each other, would really ask like a ton of questions. And I used to come up with the wildest questions and be like, I want to know every like minute of your life. You can't,
Right,
but,
right.
but doing this, like, it's been very guided, but has given us like more of an opportunity to talk about just like how we were raised or what's important to us, what are our values, what are our fears, like how can we support one another better, and just making that time for it because like the joke has basically been for 5 years that we don't talk. I
Yeah.
mean, we talk, but we talk by like, okay, who's taking that kid to school? Who's taking this
Right,
kid to school? And
right,
that, or like, are you going to pick that up from the store? It's very just like, let's just survive right now.
right.
So I'm glad that we're in a space where like we are committed to making time for one another. And like, even if it's this way, but I would prefer that it's this way because I would rather sit there and talk about like what makes us who we are and what makes us a strong couple
Sure.
than just sit there and be like, how was work
How was your right,
today?
right.
Yeah.
No, deep connection is super important, but like you had said, you have to be intentional about it, right? You have to take the time to do that. You're both committed to doing that. Are you able to say what the program you're using?
It's um it's called relationship theory is what it's called. And I think I mean there's something else that it's tied to called like the 80% club, but I'm happy to share.
Yeah. No, I
I think
appreciate that.
it's been when we do our like highs and lows of the day right now. It's something I've been doing with the kids too, which is really fun. We both are like, yeah, this is really, really like a high. It's work though. Like it's mentally and emotionally exhausting sometimes, but I would rather be exhausted that way knowing that
Sure.
like, hey,
Sure.
like I actually know who I'm living with.
Right. You're not just a roommate that's passing in the night. Right, right. Do you find was it when you started it, did you find that it was a little bit awkward at first and then you guys kind of found your groove or was it like off the bat you were ready to go?
Yeah, I think it caught my husband off guard. Like because so here's the thing, like when I was married before to the first guy and it didn't work out, we had tried like some generic relationship counseling, therapy, whatnot. And that didn't go well. So I think in my mind, I had this just preconceived notion that, oh, it didn't help the first time. Like, let's
Why would it what would be different now?
but this one, well, I mean, times have changed too. But this one I think is the way I approached it and the way I truly do feel about it is that, um, like, I feel like I'm carrying a lot of, like, whether it's stress, it's really anxiety, just a lot of that from what we talked about, like being being a full-time working mom, like trying to do everything like as perfectly as possible, but like feeling like you're failing on all fronts because like the kids are sad or you're not getting time for yourself or you're feeling mom guilt, and, like you're not even connecting with your spouse. And I was like, I just need to like know that it's okay that like I'm not totally okay and that like I don't want to feel like we're not connecting. Like
Yeah.
other people can do it. We can too, but yes, we need to be intentional about it. And so my husband was like, I don't know, but once, but he really opened up. He blossomed doing it, which was really nice to see. So I don't think he hates it. And
That's
I'm
good.
getting a lot out of it, and I also know that he knows that if I'm getting a lot out of it, and, like, he said he's noticed the difference in just the way I'm showing up, which I don't know exactly what that means. I guess I should ask him, but if he sees a difference, I guess that's a good thing too, because I feel
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and just making that effort, right? Just, even if maybe you set intentions or you didn't set intentions, but just having that effort committed, that time given to one another is so invaluable, I think, because a lot of times, with the distractions you were talking about, TV, phones, social media, all this kind of stuff, right? I heard something the other day that now parents are telling kids to get off their phones but that they can go watch TV. And it's like, I remember when I was a kid, it was get off the TV and get outside. So we've evolved.
We do that. I'm like, "Get off the phone, you watch the TV."
Yeah. No, and I think honestly that because there's something, and I don't know the study right offhand, but something scientific about having those really quick hit of dopamine from the 2-second videos that you're watching versus actually being in a program and actually being able to sit still and watch something and engage and, take information in and figure out what's going on. Whereas social media, unless you're watching like an actual TED Talk or YouTube or something like that, the short clips are hurting us, I think, in the long run.
My kids get mad when there is a commercial on TV. Like we watch like YouTube videos mostly. And if there is, one of those, even if it's a 20-second commercial and you can click out of it after
Sure,
5 seconds, those
sure.
5 seconds, they are mad. And I'm like,
Wow.
you realize that when we were
Yeah.
kids, we had no control. Like, we couldn't
No.
even pick what show we watched.
We had to go to the bathroom and get a snack and run back to the living room to get to the show.
Yeah, meanwhile, my kids can't go to the bathroom without a phone. It's, like, ridiculous. I know, like, those are, like, a lot of pain point. I mean, I feel embarrassed saying them, but then I talk to people and, like, they
It's normal.
say it's
It's
prevalent,
yeah. Yeah.
you know?
No, it's I mean, and I think with anything, what we're eating, how we're moving with social media, we just need to have you know, percentages of how much time we're spending with each, right? I mean, that's the ideal plan. If that works, that remains to be seen. But, I think with committing to, you and your husband and doing the work there, you're working full time, you have the kids and you're in the thick of it. I mean, you are down in the weeds with it right now. And I think it's hard for anybody, or it should not be anybody's business, not even hard. It should be not anybody's business to even comment on how you're doing things or what you're doing. But I think we also sometimes look to other moms for support and, hey, what are you doing? Hey, I want to know if I'm a little bit normal or if I'm completely off track of what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've also been realizing a lot that, most of the time, whenever the kids act out or have, like, a short fuse or are impatient, yes, some of that's definitely the dopamine and some of that's definitely, like, I should just get them away from the TV or whatever, but they're also getting it from me, like, I am typically on my phone a lot too, and I like, it's for work, but
Right, right. No, but
it's
it is,
still
it is.
it's still like a role model type of thing. So I have been really, really trying to focus on like being a master of like if I need to like put it down and then then I have full authority to tell them to put it down
Sure.
because now they can see me doing it too. So, but I feel like we go through a lot of different iterations of that because, I don't always live up to my word, but I'm working on
No,
it.
but and again though, that's where you're talking about the balance. That's where we're talking about the ebb and flow. And I don't know. I mean, I grew up in a house where sometimes, the parents were you do as I say, not as I do because I'm the parent. So it just depends. Although I do feel um, you know, especially as a Gen Xer, I've changed a lot of how I do things with the kids. Not that my parents did anything wrong. I think maybe not that we understand on a different level. I think we've just been like given other information that maybe our parents weren't given that we can kind of take and be like, okay, I can do this a little different.
Yeah, I think every generation is going to have those gaps and the further you're removed from like the generation before, the more like knowledge and everything is going to pop up. So, it's so
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so again, that's why no judgment to how anybody's doing it. It's just interesting to see there is a bigger percentage of some of us and then the others were like, how do you do that? How do you get that done?
Yeah, so I don't know, sometimes I feel like so messy, I mean and I'm also okay with it being messy because, like, we are learning and
Yeah.
growing through it, but I guess if it was just, like, so easy and perfect, our life would probably be really boring.
Very boring. Well, and I think we have to experience is the highs and the lows because if it's always just mediocre, we don't get that contrast. We wouldn't know we're on a really big high or we wouldn't know we're on a really big low if we're just, gliding through everything. That's my intake anyways.
You have
Tell
3 kids, right? Is
I
that right?
do. I do. I have 3.
Bless you.
You know, I think after like you have 2 and so you have a parent for each of them or, somebody that can help you for 2. 3, I think, was kind of a game changer, and then, I have a lot of friends that have more than 3, a lot and a lot of them say after 3, it doesn't matter, like, just
Yeah.
you just forget what's going on and how much is going on, whereas with the smaller amount of kids, the more you're paying attention to everything, so either way, it's hard, either way, it's kudos to all of those that are
Mhm.
having kids and doing that lifestyle because that is a very different thing, that's for sure. So, tell everybody then about, the American Dream Network and the opportunities that you're getting with that.
Yes, so American Dream is this amazing show. They film all over the country, and basically their mission is to spread positive news. So this is actually how I met Sarah was through by way of somebody who has been on the TV show as well for the positive work that she's been doing with mental skincare and the lip gloss that she created. And
Shout
it
out to Erin, we love
Yes,
you.
Erin, her lip gloss, like, her mission, all about just, like, spreading the word about mental health awareness and also keeping your lips cancer free, so she's doing amazing things, and Sarah has had Erin on the podcast, and so all of that to say, American Dream, I go around, I get to interview different businesses or people that are making a difference and highlight them in the community, and so I'm for the Southern California region, one of the hosts, and always love to do the work that and just give everybody an opportunity to shine and highlight more of the great things that they're doing.
Yeah, which is amazing, and again, how you married the 2, how you can still go for your passion of, home buying, home selling, and, really quick, we are not really geared to that, but I know people are curious. What do you see the upcoming market doing for 2026? Any good tidbits you
I'm
can leave?
I'm really positive about 2026, and I
For
think
which
a lot of
side, the seller or the buyer?
I'm positive about it for both, and I know it makes a
Okay.
big difference, but, um, I I am seeing the interest rates coming down, so that helps a lot of sellers be able to make some changes if they've been feeling stuck, so that's a positive, and then also for buyers, I'm seeing affordability increase partially because of the interest rates coming down, and it also helps with the affordability because if more sellers feel less stuck, then they're putting their homes on the market. So it gives buyers more options. So I believe we're going to see a win-win for a lot of folks out there. We've just had such historically low numbers of homes for sale. We've also had that coupled with sky high interest rates. So everything kind of calming back down. We're getting a bit more balance and a lot more opportunity. And I think a lot of people have just resisted buying because they've been hearing the rates are so high, it doesn't make sense, or the market might crash. So why would I buy? And I think as we start to see just the leveling off of more homes and lower interest rates and overall general affordability in an area where, might I add, we are in a very expensive market in Southern California, but
Yeah,
wherever you
regardless.
live, yeah, but wherever you live, interest rates are going to have an impact with affordability. And I think that'll be a really good thing for people, especially like in Southern California. A good a good chunk of the market is not even owner occupied, meaning a lot of people are renting, and a lot I would say a lot of them would like to own, but they just put it off because they don't even think it's possible,
Right, right.
So
That's
just
the boat we're in. Yeah.
yeah, we just want honestly, I mean, I want people to feel good wherever they live and however they live. If they're renting, if they're owning, if they're investing, I just want you guys to all feel good about like you have a roof over your head. We are luckier than a lot of people. But if you are able to own too and get the benefits of, paying yourself back and not paying a landlord and just growing your overall wealth, that's also amazing. But the only way it's going to happen is if there is affordability and options for people. And we've just been like we just haven't had a lot of options. So I think with more options, we'll have a much better market this year.
Exciting. Okay, I love that. I almost like that we're gonna have that on Everything's Messy. Like I said, it's not typically something we discuss, but I am all for it and definitely, want that business mindset and home ownership. That's important, I think, for so many. I still think it's even considered part of the American dream. It has to be, right?
Hence the show name, but like real estate's messy. So yes. Yeah.
Lovely. All right. Well, Holly, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on Everything's Messy. And where can people find you?
Yeah, I would say that I have a website, realtorhollymcdonald.com, and you can always find me on Instagram. That's my favorite social media platform to live on, Realtor Holly McDonald. You can follow me there.
I love it. Any messy tidbits that you want to leave?
Ooh, I flush the toilet.
I feel like there's a story behind that.
No, we'll just leave it at that. Use your
Okay.
imagination.
That's a good note to end on. All right. Thank you, Holly.
Thanks for having me. This was great.
Thanks for listening to Everything's Messy podcast. Whew, if you made it this far, give yourself a gold star or at least a nap. Honestly, if you showed up today and you were listening, you've already crushed it. I'm so grateful for you listening. If anything hit home, share it, tag me, write it on a sticky note. I don't care. Just don't keep all of this messy goodness to yourself. You can find me on Instagram at Everything's Messy Wellness or over at my website, everythingsmessywellness.com, where I've got resources, coaching, and probably a new rant about blood sugar or something that's just nonsense. It's all waiting for you. Check out my YouTube channel. I've got all of my podcast episodes up there. And I'm on X at Everything's Mess. Or if you just want to send me an email, Sarah at everythingsmessywellness.com. Look, until next time, hydrate, take no crap, and as always, keep it messy.